It's obvious. Get him, Kenny. Oh! You set me up, Harden.
To be fair, both scripted and live television provides a great deal of entertainment, but due to the spontaneity and unpredictability involved, live TV tends to be a tad more entertaining. And if you don't believe me, well, perhaps looking through this collection of moments that we have available will give you a bit of context.
We're not live.
Join us as we have a look at 25 funniest moments shown on live TV.
My friend John, Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
Rolling with the Queen Bee. Remember those days when you were in middle school and there was a particular girl who had always made everyone feel like they couldn't get to her? It almost was like she was out of everyone's league. Well, this guy apparently got the opportunity to dance with one such lady, and you could just see the look of joy on his face. Imagine the stories he'd have to tell his mates back home after this. Congratulations on your accomplishment. News briefs. Back in the heyday of the pandemic, many of us had to work from home, even newscasters. And because they still had to keep on working, let's just say there's a treasure trove of footage of weird, homely things going on around them. Take this for instance. In a segment on CNBC's Squawk Box, contributor Karen Firestone was interrupted several times when her dogs kept barking and interrupting the segment.
We appreciate that. This is the dog days of summer. People talk about it that way. We were talking about this being
I'm sorry.
Following her apology, the host Andrew Ross Sorkin made it clear that it was completely fine for the dogs to interrupt.
Don't be sorry. We love this. It just adds to the sort of, this is a live show.
After all, it was live television, but the mother of all doozies came when Karen's husband apparently walked across the screen in nothing but his briefs. To their credit, everyone in the shot stayed professional, even though this was nothing short of television gold. Still, though, it was incredibly hilarious. Animal fever. Kevin Hart is one of the funniest men on the planet. Whether he's killing it on stage during a comedy tour or just making a video trying to promote a brand, he never fails to bring the humor. However, there's one point when Kevin really got the audience riled up. While making an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he became incredibly scared when fellow guest Robert Irwin brought an animal to the show.
This is Giselle.
Oh!
Come on,
brother.
Now, I don't think that Kevin was in the mood for any biology lessons over there. The man was getting ready to hightail it out at the slightest inconvenience. Now look, do I even blame him? I get scared around weird animals too. Shaq to the ground. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the most dominant forces in the history of basketball, but even though he's earned the nickname Superman, there are some moments involving Shaq that don't feel so super. Take this clip where he fails hilariously while on television.
You set me up, Harden. What do you mean, me?
Apparently, Shaq had tripped when one of his shoes got caught on a cable, and he landed on the floor with a thud. The poor giant man. Scaring the OG. Now, if you know anything about old school rap, you would know that many of the men who dominated the space back in the day had specific personas. These men would go out of their way to look like gangsters, portraying a tough and hard guy image. But what if I told you that many of these OG rappers actually get scared pretty easily? For a perfect example, we go to this Halloween edition of the Ellen DeGeneres Show, when Ellen decided to play a prank on none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy had already given Ellen the business. No matter what happens, he's not scared of clowns. But is it really true? Not exactly. It looks like someone out there was telling a fib. This may have done a little bit of damage to Diddy's street cred, but hey, the man's a billionaire. I don't think that it's going to bother him too much. Kanye's smile issue. Now, we may have forgotten, but there was one point out there when Kanye had made a name for himself in his ability to never smile at a camera no matter what. Things got so bad that even when he was smiling unconsciously, he'd still do his best to hold his front, kind of like here. You know, it wouldn't kill you to smile every once in a while. Filter trouble. News platforms always try to leverage social media to increase a reach, but it doesn't go so smoothly. Take this guy, for example. He was reporting on an event back in 2020 on Facebook Live when he was completely unaware of the fact he'd activated the filters on his phone.
Kind of across the region, Governor Cooper had put out a message earlier today warning people to be careful.
To be fair, the guy was delivering the weather, and many of the filters he activated were weather-themed, so I guess there was a sense of accuracy in there after all. Ball misfire. Have you ever wanted to take your frustration out on something? Well, don't be like James Harden.
Josh Hart has to worry about the contact. Hart just lost the bat. Oh, and then put it into his own chin.
Honestly, everything here was funny. James's hit, the reaction from the opposing player, absolutely everything. Daddy-daughter smooch. When Texas Senator Ted Cruz tried to run for president in 2016, he brought out his entire family through the campaign. But at certain places, things didn't go so well for him. Look here when he tries to kiss his daughter on national television.
Let's hop out. We're taking it. Good jump. Good jump.
Now, that didn't make for the best campaign optics, now did it? Sweet Brown. Back in 2012, this moment went viral when a woman named Kimberly Sweet Brown Wilkins was being interviewed by the local news crew after escaping a fire in her building. Speaking about how she had managed to get out of the fire, she gave this legendary description.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, to be fair, props to her for escaping the horrible accident, but still, the way in which she described the entire thing made it seem a whole lot funnier than what it actually was. The apparently paradox. For some people, being on TV for the first time is a huge deal. I mean, take a look at Noah Ritter. Back in 2014, he became a viral sensation after stealing the show at the Wayne County Fair. When asked by a news crew about how he felt about the rides and stuff, Noah immediately went on a rambling spree, forgetting to talk about the main point and just chatting about whatever had come to his mind.
What did you think about the ride?
It was great. And apparently, I've never been on live television before.
Now, apparently, the kid was having the time of his life on that news segment. I just wonder what he's up to these days. Kawhis laugh. Kawhi Leonard has built a reputation for being pretty stoic on the basketball court, so when he tried to show off his fun side, you can imagine that it was a bit weird.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
Now, hold on a second. Was that a laugh, or was it a robot trying to ask for an oil change? I mean, what the heck even happened there? Hold up, wait a minute. Remember the legendary "hold up, wait a minute" quote? Well, this is how it materialized.
And see, that's what the problem was. Because I heard him first. I said, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
There's honestly a lot to unpack here, from the iconic quote to his depiction of when he tasted the people who broke into his house.
And I started to taste them. I said,
to the fact that he confused Anne Frank for Anne Hathaway. The man is a true legend.
She, what, Anne Hathaway, Frank and Beverly? Anne Frank, that's a hiding bitch, ain't it?
I only wish he was given more time to give us legendary reactions. My bad, Mom. Back in January of 2018, this guy was arrested for an alleged home break-in, and the local news was able to get to him before the police took him away. This resulting interview gave everyone one of the funniest exchanges between a news crew and a suspect that you'll ever see. After beginning the interview by saying he didn't want to talk, the suspect actually began to come around, and then this happens.
I want to talk.
We were talking before. You were just talking to these officers.
Well, I don't want to talk to you, though.
So all he had to say to his mother was, "My bad." I mean, seriously?
You want to say anything to your mom or anything like that, or anyone you know?
My bad, Mom. All right.
Dishing it to the critics. Recently, Robert Downey Jr. has been on a whirlwind award tour after his masterful portrayal of Louis Strauss in the smash hit Oppenheimer, and while delivering an acceptance speech at the Critics' Choice Awards, he gave this hilarious speech.
And lastly, in this one lingered, amusing as a bedlocked fart.
Robert went on to thank his co-stars and crew members for Oppenheimer, as well as his agents and wife for their role in blessing his career. I've got to say, to dunk on your critics and make it so hilarious in your moment of victory is a skill that only a master like him can pull off. Hot and sticky. Thanks to advancements in design and illustrations, television stations find it easier to improve the relatability of their segments. But still, it's safe to say that some designers tend to take their work a bit too seriously and screw up in the most hilarious of ways.
We have a long, a hot and sticky situation, a long stretch of shower.
Just take this weather forecast segment. Apparently, the graphic artist had used an illustration that was just a little too suggestive, and no one thought to check it before the segment went to air. Now, I'm sure that someone probably didn't get a raise that month after such a silly error. Terrible takeoff. Back in July of 2011, this newscaster for Fox News Channel was at the San Diego Yacht and Boat Show when he tried to get his colleague to kick off the event in style with a water-powered jet ski. But let's just say there was a bit of a mechanical error somewhere.
Here at the San Diego Yacht and Boat Show. Good morning, everybody. I'm hanging out with my friend John. Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
That didn't start in the manner that anyone had hoped for. Spider fever. One of the most interesting things about working in the news is that you tend to be exposed to some pretty unfamiliar situations. And even though you might want to be professional about your response, there are times when it might not be so possible. In this next clip, we see a moment when a forecaster was completely surprised as a figure looking like a spider suddenly cropped up onto the screen.
And now we're going to continue with the dry spell and get the real heat. Whoa! Whoa!
Now, I don't know about you, but if that happened to me, I'd immediately head over the top brass and ask them for a raise. Baby gift. One of the best things about late-night shows is that they provide audiences with an opportunity to see celebrity combinations that they probably never thought possible. Take this episode of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy had the foresight to bring in Cardi B and John Mulaney to the show, and it became absolute gold. If you think this interaction was wholesome, well, check out Cardi's reaction when John actually gave her a gift.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what it is, but every time I watch the video, I crack a smile. Perhaps it's just the innocence of everything that gets to me. I Will Find You. If you're a fan of action movies, then you have to love Liam Neeson in the Taken franchise. His menacing voice and the way he takes out his opponents, everything about the man's performance was an all-timer. But away from the screen, he was apparently asked to scare someone in the way that only he could a few years ago. While appearing on Jimmy Kimmel, Liam got the unusual request from a fan. Now, he didn't seem so overly enthusiastic about it, but he did agree, and let me tell you, that man gave the performance of a generation.
I want you to listen very carefully, Matthew. Before this night's over, I will kill you.
But if Liam Neeson threatened me like that, I'd probably lose my mind as well.
I will find you. And I will kill you.
Kierans Award Meltdown. Whenever celebrities find out that they've won something, they try to play it off and come up with a whole humble act. But while you may think that most of them tend to just try and sell it, some people actually do honestly get tortured at the thought of having to walk in front of a bunch of strangers to receive an award. Take Kieran Culkin, for instance. Last year, Kieran was honored with the Critics' Choice Award for his role playing Roman Roy on HBO's smash hit Succession, and immediately got on stage. You could tell that he was about to melt the heck down.
You were probably my favorite actor to do scenes with after Sarah Snook.
After delivering the one quip, he almost literally melted down on the stage, but just kept on rambling until organizers gave him the cue it was time to go. You know, now that I think about it, I don't think there's anyone else on the planet who could have played Roman Roy better than Kieran Culkin. He definitely deserves that bow. The Riley Show. Stephen Curry has already cemented himself as one of the greatest basketball players in the history of the game. However, besides his impressive play on the court, he's also warmed his way into the hearts of NBA fans because of his wholesome family. While at one particular post-game conference earlier in his career, his first daughter Riley decided she wanted to be part of things. And from the moment when she landed on the scene, you could tell she was about to take over.
I was supposed to, you know...
That's too loud, Daddy.
I know. Hold on one second, okay?
Be quiet.
As Steph answered questions, Riley let herself be Riley, and it was absolutely funny to watch.
Be in the hole, especially in the first half, that's not how we envisioned the game going, but
Now, Steph may be the baby-faced assassin, but something tells me Riley and her siblings are the real stars of the Curry crew. Winner's Ramble. You know that feeling when you win something and feel absolutely over the moon? For this guy, winning a pool tournament wasn't enough. He also had to give the entire world a few moments that would live on in infamy.
No English, no program, every time happy. I have a pen, I have a oi, hey, a pope. Oh my God!
Can someone in the comments please help me translate what the heck he was even saying? I mean, it sounds like a bunch of hilarious gibberish, but I don't know. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Cybertruck glass fail. When Elon Musk and Tesla announced their Cybertruck back in 2019, the vehicle immediately became the talk of the town. Everyone wanted to know how Elon and Tesla would revolutionize the industry, and the company was more than happy to show the car when its first demo day came. But this isn't to say that things went as smoothly as planned. Primarily, he was eager to show the Cybertruck's bulletproof glass, which he claimed could halt a small projectile. So he invited one of the truck's designers to test it out, and we got this legendary moment.
Yeah. Oh my fucking God. Well.
You want to know what's worse? The guy decided to try and do it again, and the exact same thing happened.
Sure. Oh man, it didn't go through.
Elon might have laughed it off, but I can only imagine that he'd be pissed to the core by the blooper in the end. Get off my lawn. When Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison tried to give a speech at a neighborhood a few years ago, one of the locals just wasn't having it. If a politician ever needed a clue that people didn't like him, well, this was surely it.
Everyone get off the grass, please. Sure. Let's just move back from there.
Hey guys, I've just reseated that.
Yeah, please. Off the thing.
It's honestly interesting to see how many insanely hilarious moments live television has given us, and considering that we're all in a new and golden age, you can guess how many more we have left to come. But what do you think? Which of these moments was best for you? Let me know all about it in the comments down below. Also, be sure you're subscribed so you never miss a video in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.